Hey everybody, I'm that girl Goddess, and today I want to talk to people about all the crisis in the world that's going on today. Some people don't want to relate it to it being spiritual, but a public announcement that I'm about to make is most of it is spiritual. For months you've been seeing things, but you had no opinion. You know, we've been for years, people sitting on the system, getting EBT, non working, sturdy, having children. And we just sat back. I did it too. I spoke on some things, but I did it too. I've been learning to speak up because people say, well, don't get to talking about it, just pray about it. And I do that. But God have sent me out a lot of times to talk to people and explain to them the repercussions of a lot of problems. See, it's like we was on YouTube and we was watching all these women date men and was gold digging and nothing they do was good enough and they swore them down they was high value women. When reality, they was just 304s. And people say, well, a man is a quality woman, so what? Well, a lot of people don't have emotional maturity. They don't like to admit they picked wrong, they did wrong. Everything that happens is everybody else's fault. They get with women and, oh, she says she's on birth control pills. And we find out later on she gets pregnant and she swimming down the birth control pills. And then I hear young women talk about from high school get pregnant so they can get on Section 8 and get their own place. And for years, I've been telling people, I say, all these young people doing nowadays is being on their back producing children. They don't even want to get up and get a job because they felt they had the whole system beat. And they don't know that one day when you get old, you're going to need a means of income to come in once you're of retirement age. They don't even look towards the future. I may have overdid some things and still ran into a lot of brick walls. Because I tell a lot of these young girls, okay, you think they just going to hire you. A lot of these employers, they done found out this new generation have no work ethics, no skill. They have so many children, they got to go home and they think everybody's going to play with them and accept their excuses and they BS. And how do it affect the economy? A lot of jobs are closing down because they can't find quality workers. A lot of children are growing up, becoming teenagers, getting in detention centers and into a lot of trouble and having children too young, a lot of bad decisions because no one has set a standard. We should have been speaking up. And I look at a lot of people, no, you wasn't speaking up. A lot of people were snickering in the background and laughing and one day they gonna learn. But it was the older women and men's job to teach the younger. And society failed. It's just like everybody want to blame. When they took prayer out of school, everything went haywire. No. Prayer was taken out of school from one woman who was an atheist because Christians didn't speak up. They didn't say anything. And the reason everything went haywire had nothing to do with prayer being taken out of school. See, I'm going to talk about a little bit of all issues. A lot of it, when they took prayer out of school, they didn't take prayer out of your home. There was no parenting. There was no structure. And a lot of people get mad at me and they say, oh, you want to blame the parents now? Yeah, because most of them was sitting around chilling and drinking, getting high and partying, having a good time. They wasn't teaching their children to respect adults. They wasn't teaching them to control themselves. They can't just yell and act a fool at school and hit somebody's children. They turn around and just say, fight back. And when their children was wrong and was the bully, they didn't correct their children. They didn't teach their children to get up and make their bed, sweep the floor. So these children had no cleaning ethics. Okay? They didn't, when they was parenting teenage children and was all out of order, oh no, you don't call protective service. But they knew it was a whole lot going on that needed protective service. Even though a lot of protective service workers just got a paycheck, they didn't care. And they only wanted good children. Okay? They didn't want those real bad children that people was calling heathens. And then society got so strict. Oh, not only could the parents couldn't discipline the children, the neighbors better not say nothing to the children. Nobody can say anything to these children. So now we have adults that feel you can't say anything to them. They don't know right from wrong. Okay, they don't have a clue. They was taught to live out of their flesh. Okay, they was taught that whatever feels good, you do it, and ain't nobody gonna keep me from having a good time. But when the word of God said, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, they didn't have no understanding. They may have heard it, then again, they may not. Because nobody was talking to children. A lot of them was sitting around chilling, smoking, drinking, and saying, get out of my face, go somewhere and sit down. That was the parenting. Okay, their children go to school, their children be dirty. When I was coming up, if you went to school and you was dirty, your parents got a call. So the school system dropped the ball too. But they dropped it because when the teachers and principals tried to talk to the parents came up there looking horrible, dressed, and everything was exposed. The children were teased and laughed because their parents come in there with all of their body parts hanging out. When I say these parents was cussing out the teachers, acting a fool, and these children really, really, really smelled bad, looked bad, and the parents looked worse. They wasn't taught right on how to present themselves. So when we got a society, when you see a man with a beard and lipstick and a wig on his head and a dress on, his shirt buttoned down with chest hairs, no one spoke to that person about presentation. The importance of not looking evil, looking confused, looking crazy. These children got up and they just threw anything on. Someone wanted to get out the house because they wanted to go to school so they can get free lunch. They was hungry. No one said nothing to the parents sitting around using child support to go get their hair and nails did. Nobody said anything about anything. And if you did, you was hushed up and don't judge me. And you got a lot of the new generation saying, don't judge me. But when they go to work dressed a certain way, they get terminated. When they go to work and find out and they don't have the money to go buy something that look decent, they don't know why they didn't get the job. They find out they can't go on lunch and smoke and get high. And some of them are doing it and the employers are not saying nothing long as they show up because they need a body, okay? And businesses are closing because production is low. They can't find good workers. You can't tell them nothing. And now the youth is in trouble because they can't get a job. If they get a job, they can't hold a job. They have no work ethic. They find out that you got to go to work every day assigned to you. They find out now there's repercussions for everything you do. And we as a society didn't say anything because we let the government tell us, don't discipline your children. You couldn't teach them. The children wore you out because the moment you raised your voice and let them know that what they're doing was unacceptable, everybody called protective service, and that's when these people came out acting a fool, knew they was lying when they was saying what they said. They couldn't make the children sit down. and children were slapping their parents, but if the parents slapped their child, or the judge wanted to put them in jail. So a lot of parents just gave up and said, you know what? They had good intentions too. I can't take this. I'm not going to jail. I got to keep a roof over my head. I got to keep a roof over my children's head. I went to jail. Don't nobody want to hire me now. I'm considered a felon because I spanked my child. They didn't abuse them. They just disciplined them. And society sat back again and didn't say anything. And, oh, they took the prayer out of school. Prayer has nothing to do with when they got in there and said the Our Father, when the parents didn't teach the children anything. God gonna deal with you for your wrong. You got consequences. God gonna whoop you. The devil gonna whoop you just because he couldn't. You know, we sitting back, keeping our mouths closed. Even like all these people, we got a crisis with the government shut down. And I tell people, okay, it's shut down, but it's funny how they got money to give to other countries. It's funny how they got money for all these illegal immigrants. It's funny why they have 101 excuses for all these immigrants doing God knows what. And then America, we're not even prepared for these immigrants. They come with all these strange religions, the voodoo. They sitting there killing cats on the front line, making blood sacrifices. There is people kidnapping people and the ex trafficking, because nobody says nobody is wrong, and everybody makes excuses for stuff. But see, and I'm starting a new page and it say, let's talk about it. Let's talk about these gray areas that everybody's ignoring. Let's talk about the areas of the pink elephant in the room and nobody want to say anything. You got an uncle coming over dressed, like I said, the lipstick and the beard and the dress with his button down in the front with chest hairs. And your child is sitting there confused. And you don't know what to call your uncle. And I tell people, you know what? You call your uncle uncle. And if he can't come over appropriately, then don't come at all. Okay, it's too much to have to protect your child from, to teach your child that this is okay. And then when the moment something get out of place, they find out these are doors to things that's inappropriate for a child. It's not okay. Sometimes I'm appalled at some of the things I see and how people dress. These skirts, these bubble skirts where half your cheek is hanging out. That's inappropriate. When I was coming up, you'll get a ticket for indecent exposure. Now, anything goes. Anything shouldn't go. My child shouldn't walk down the street and look at a teenage girl, or she can be 25, 30 years old and half her booty cheek is literally hanging out. Little boys giggling, then your daughter think that's the way you get a man's attention. Then the man saying, oh yeah, because they only thinking about one thing, and these girls are giving it up and doing all kind of stuff. Then the baby come. He never wanted the baby, but it was so many people that they was involved with. They don't know who is the daddy. Then they don't want the responsibility. Then when they get these guys and it's the first child and they excited and they got 20 guys giving them $20 or $30 a week. And they think that's going to last the rest of the child's life. But then these guys grow up and realize they being played. Her game run out. Now she's facing, oh, I can't live on Section 8 the rest of my life. This is the reason I gave birth. I don't know what to teach my child because no one ever taught me. Oh, man, I have to get up and smoke every day or I can't function. And so who's raising the children? I'm not saying these things because I just want to get on YouTube and criticize everything. But it comes to a point that we have to speak on some things. Relationships. I remember when the sexual revolution came out. Okay, that's when Prince was in the heels and he was dancing, an international lover. And we went through that phase with Prince and Apollonia and Vanity Six, and then it became the Two Live Crew, and everything is okay. But they didn't say that when they said everything was okay and everybody, we don't want a relationship. We just have intimate chemistry. And they took it there with no responsibility, no common sense, no moral intelligence, no emotional intelligence. Then you have men sitting there talking about, well, it's females, because females, if they become intimate, they're emotionally wrapped up. Wrong answer. These people, the oldest profession that's working the streets, go from man to woman intimately and don't care. They're not emotionally caught up. They're going to play a game and they cold on the inside. And a lot of these guys done got cold because they done did this and they don't even know what to expect, and what they thought was normal, find out it's not normal, and where's the normal people? And most of the normal people sitting back with their mouths hang open and can't believe what's going on because it's so outrageous. It's so out there. Oh, Donald Trump is doing a government shutdown. Let me explain something. When they formed the system, you supposed to have had a job. Why are you having children? They didn't even allow men to spend the night in these houses and subsidize and stuff. But a lot of stuff went under the radar. And the girl's having a baby year after year after year. Okay, when it first came out, if you had a functional relationship, because you getting these even as married stuff going on, they was cutting you up. That man had to go get a job. Sister, you had to get a job. Everything was not acceptable. And no boundaries. Your child can't grow up in a household thinking they never supposed to have a job and live large. It's unfair to people who work hard and they say, well, when you get older, there's nothing for you to retire on. Why isn't it? If you got money sending millions of dollars to this country and this country and this country and this and that, and if you honest and if you single, they taking all these taxes out of your paycheck, and everybody's saying you working hard, but you don't have nothing to reap in the end. What? But you got to go to work because you got to keep a roof over your head. And a lot of people don't grow up till grandma die because they don't have a house they can live in and be living in the basement, and grandma caring. I don't want them babies in the street. Grandma's stressed out, can't live her life, and grandma's even younger now. Because I was telling this guy, we was talking, he has a child, but he had his first baby, he was 14. People, young guys, 12, 14. And I looked at him, I said, do you realize at 14 that at age 32, your child will be a grown adult? You do realize that you can become a grandfather when your child turned 14 or 12. And he so happened to have a daughter. Okay? And I looked at him, you're going to be a grandparent. So all this stuff people talking about, you're old. I tell people, we pray to God that we have many days on this life and then begin to get past beyond working 2 and 3 jobs to pay rent. The cost of living is beyond being able to be maintained. Okay, because you got a lot of rich people that sitting around want to stay rich and they just hiking their stuff up. We don't even have quality. We just have a whole bunch of stuff. Used to be a time you buy a space heater. That space heater lasts for 20 years. You buy a space heater before the winter is out, that space heater's going to break. No one's teaching their children how to make preserves and homemade soup and putting them in the mason jars. No one's teaching anything. No one has time because everybody's working 2 jobs and 3 jobs, and you got 100 people in your house because nobody can afford to live nowhere. And everybody want to talk about the devil this and witches this. And I turn around and I say, yep, 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 and yep. Because we have been quiet too long. So let's talk about it. I mean, my channels is this one is Dimensions in Christ, but I'm gonna have 2 more channels coming up because I was gonna teach different recipes and stuff. But working 2 jobs sometimes don't give you the time you need, not even for a marriage, not even for a relationship. Yes, there's problems going on in people's relationship because you only see each other passing through the day and you're just trying to be intimate real quick to some of us just to know that we're human. And then you have Christian values. Everybody's beating over your head for fornication. And I just tell people, look, there's a lot of people I want to fight. I pick my battles. I'm not trying to fight with God. I ain't out here fornicating to get married. And then you have all these other problems. Because you go to work and that girl sitting over there on Section 8. Not only is she sneaking and being with everybody's man, spouse, he done got, you know, the relationship is lukewarm. He trying to find comfort. Somehow they make a baby, and everybody's angry. And angry is not the word, because anger is only unresolved hurt. Okay, everybody's angry. Then you get all these entertainers telling you to use Ozempic. They're not telling you all of the repercussions people are experiencing. They're telling you when you get on YouTube, fix yourself up. And God did tell me to fix myself up. And I went through some phases, but then, you know, fixing myself up don't mean I need a lace front wig hanging down to my behind. And yeah, I get a little this because these are work wigs. Yes, I have long hair, but this is what you call a work wig. It's not too long because a lot of times you go to work with all that hair on your head and they're going to tell you, you can't wear all that. It's not acceptable. You can't even afford the upkeep of those wigs and stuff because you're too busy trying to live in a dream world, idolizing people like Beyonce. People who have sold their souls and witchcraft and foolishness. I remember when she first came out. Okay, music is okay. It's mediocre, nothing. But at a certain point, by the time the 6 or 7 video came on, I started asking questions. Why can't this person put on some clothes sometime? Why do I got to look at her behind all the time? My man sit up and go to the concert and all he doing is lusting after her butt. Then a lot of females doing this. Okay, you can't keep a man because a man don't want a woman who's everybody's looking at her butt all the time. Oh no, ain't nobody living like that, and he better put a ring on it. Well, a lot of men not gonna put a ring on a finger for a woman that's stupid. They're not gonna put a ring on your finger and you don't know how to cook. I seen these women getting on TikTok, different Instagram, different social media platforms, even YouTube. Oh, I'm not cooking for my husband. Why can't he cook for himself? Part of relationship being a helpmeet is to be there for one another. What kind of society are we looking in? And each thing I'm missing in this video is something I'm going to upload. Let's talk about it. Okay? I had somebody and I turned around and I did that. And what people don't understand, he turned around and said, yeah, you're snorting. Okay. And I got in a fight early on as a child. And every now and then, this part of my nose tends to collapse. And I got to sometimes pull in some air. Okay. And I just tell them, why come on my platform to talk about something negative? No, I don't have a degree in public speaking. I have taken a class before. No, I don't pronounce every word as proper as some people want me to do. Okay. Life challenges, then you don't know what to say because it's so much censorship that half of us don't know what a lot of people videos are talking about because everybody's making up words to just have a normal conversation. Over censorship don't help nobody. It keep you blind. It keep you deceived. Keep you confused because you don't know what everybody's talking about. Okay? And so information is not getting out there and people growing from what's said because there's so much censorship. Then social media have taken over. Like I tell people, y'all sit there and let y'all child sit there and be on social media all day. Mine had to go in there and clean up their room. They had to go do some homework. We sat down, we watched a movie together. We discussed the movie together. Okay. You got to teach your children real life, not just video games and want to play. You got to teach them, oh yeah, do you know you don't have so many work hours, years of work employment in, you can't retire. There's nothing there for you. Subsidize and you putting yourself in the government hand, and then when they get ready to shut it down, you turn around, you angry. First of all, it was not designed to take care of somebody their whole life. They should have been cut people off. Now, in the worst of times, that's when they want to cut everybody off. Is it fair? It is fair. Because everybody's supposed to go out here and work and have a means for themselves. But society is not fair. You hit a certain age, they don't want to hire you. You too young, they don't want to hire you. You too old, they don't want to hire you. Oh, you hit middle age. Oh, we rather get somebody young and educated so we can have longevity with this person. And this person have no work ethic. See, the devil just been playing the games. He's hitting us on all ends. And I tell people, yeah, right. Go get a job at 70 years old. Unless you know someone been at that job a long time. Baby, they not going to hire you. You can be in the best of shape. If you get hired, you're one in every 5,000. You hit 35 and they start looking at you funny. They don't want you. But you know, they didn't want you when you was under 21. You didn't have no work experience, so they didn't want to hire you. So they said that baby you had at 14, 15, 16, 17, 22, 20, okay? They wouldn't give you a job. So you had no experience. You gave up. You got comfortable being on the system. You can't make Johnny sit down because everybody say you're abusing him if you spank him. But did you know it's against the law to be around your children high? Drunk? You think they really look up to you? I don't know no child who said, I'm so proud my mama sit there and my daddy get high every day and they drunk. When we was coming up, when you get to school, they get to laughing and talking about you, and they was teasing you about that. And people still laughing. And then you talk to the older people, your children be sitting in the room, you ain't around, you getting high. They be like, man, baby, when you get up, don't you get up and get on that stuff, baby. Don't be sitting around high all day. It's a shame your mom and your daddy doing this. So your children already have a negative mindset against you. From their friends, their grandparents, everybody that's older, then your boyfriend, you get to arguing, you trying, you need to stop drinking. Okay, that's what you're yelling. I'm so tired of dealing with this. You high all the time. You ain't clean the house. These kids running around crazy. And they not lying. Ain't nobody proud to say my mama get high or my daddy get high and drunk every day. That's embarrassing. You know they can't go out in the world and function. They start getting drunk and it ain't even 11 o'clock. What job application they went to go fill out? Then you going online. Then you go to a lot of these jobs here. They tell you to go online. They say, man, they hire, some people hire you right there on the spot. They so tired of going online. And they be like, yeah, you can see the application. They look good. Then when they come in, you be like, what in the world did I consider to hire? A lot of them want you to come in. A lot of them doing videos and they doing face-to-face videos to try to get a feel of you. They need to go back to a lot of stuff. Give out a paper application. Because when you did, at least you know the people and called. You give out 10 applications. Next day, interview 10 people. Get to see what's out there and know what you're bringing in. You won't be deceived. A lot of people can look good on social media and on online resume and application. See, I'm an older woman. I'm in my 40s, but guess what? I'm not crippled. I'm not mangled up. See, people get upset with me because I married a younger man. I have more energy than he do. And don't even be trying. I have people I work them and I'm working 2 jobs. They be like, when do you sleep? I say barely, maybe 2 hours. But sometimes you can be so tired you can't sleep. Then you got so much on your mind what you got to take care of because everything is attacking you nowadays. And I just want to say, America, let's slow up. Let's whoosha and start talking about it. And I'm going to have another YouTube page coming up and it's going to be called Let's Talk About It. Yes, I'm going to use the scriptures here. The scriptures is for all people, but it's power to those who are saved. You need to have knowledge. You need to know that word. And so sometimes I use scriptures because everything is going to be under the Most High, which is Jesus Father. Okay. Jehovah God, God the Father. He's the Most High. He's going to sit over everything. And right now, we're reaping corporately the reason the whole world is shutting down and so much because we have permitted so much chaos. And we got to find, how do you petition? These government officials know nothing about living at $7.15. They know nothing about living at minimum wage or coming from a subsidized household. They don't know what you need in order to enhance society. Starving the world is not going to improve society. Okay, you kick them out in 2 years, so you got a homelessness problem. You got a homelessness problem now because this rent is so high and they telling you your property is worth this. Your property is worth $100,000 from the hood. You pay for the environment. You got dope things and hookers walking up and down the street around the neighborhood, not directly on your block, but all around it. And they want $2,500 a month. Now, before COVID 2020, that same house was like $500. Now it's $2,500. And ain't nothing improved. And you think these kind of people that make that money to pay $2,500 is going to move on purpose in a broken neighborhood, the hood? Wrong answer. That's foolish business ways. You got adults out here and everybody don't want to talk about the incurables and STDs. Well, we're going to talk about it on my other channel really in depth. You want to know why? Because everybody was hiding. They didn't teach their kids how to wash their behinds. I've seen it. I've been in the detention officer. And let me tell you something. I had to teach this person how to wash, how to take a shower. I done seen children. Okay, they come out, oh my God, out of some most horrific situations. I done had a child tell me, I didn't know we supposed to have beds. Y'all rich, y'all got beds? That's a disgrace. I had children, all they ate was from different WIC and Focus Hope programs, peanut butter, rice, and beans. Because their mama was giving a bridge card, debit card, EBT card, SNAP benefits to a man that didn't want them. See, a lot of women, they get with these guys not because they want them. They just want to prove to you they can get with that man And they can make a fool out of you because don't nobody want them because of the way they act. And they want to see you heartbroken. It's a lot of jealousy out here. It's a lot of brokenness out here. But we got to change together. Well, that's my new YouTube page. I'm going to be talking about one of them of Let's Talk About It. This one, yes, we're going to be using scriptures, and I am going to take some of the things I heard off of YouTube, and I'm going to discuss it here. I'm going to deal with what's practical, what's current events. But other channel, I'm going to be showing different recipes, how to cook, healthy eating, diabetic eating. We going to be talking about weight loss. Okay. This one, I'm going to talk more about what's a disgrace in the church, because the church has a great influence on people. And I don't like to make my videos too long, so I'm going to stop right here. I'm That Girl Goddess. Like, share, and subscribe. And let's help a sister out. Come on up here and share this video. Comment. I like talking back to people. You know, because when you work 2 jobs, you barely have time for friendships and relationship. But let's talk about it. I want to talk to some intelligent people who have the ability to think. I don't care what your age is. Age ain't nothing but a number. It don't tell how intelligent you are. Well, I want to know what's going on with the 18-year-old, the 25-year-old. I want to visit all their worlds because I visit them anyway. So y'all like, share, and subscribe. Comment. Be blessed. I'm trying to build my YouTube up. They don't really talk about how being difficult. I failed for a lot of the okie doke. But this is a passion of mine. So let's go ahead. Let's talk about it. Bye.